Rob, let's get into this. Tonight, big night in Brooklyn. I guess you could say this is when they're going to start their surge, that they're going to start their run toward the Eastern Conference Championship. If you believe that's going to happen, then it would be the night that it starts, because Kevin Durant is back. And I tell you what, he couldn't come back too soon, because they need him badly. They have fallen. Rob G, what is their record without Durant?
16. 5
and 16. They've fallen all the way to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're only a game and a half up on 9th seeded Charlotte and 2 games up on 10th seeded Atlanta. So they need to start winning. Now, of course, Durant will be by himself as far as stars. Kyrie Irving not playing tonight because it's a home game. And, of course, Ben Simmons has a back issue, so he is out. Some think, Rob, that March 11th, that back is when that back's going to heal up, because March 10th is when they play at Philadelphia. I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
But the back is bothering Ben Simmons for now. And like I said, Kevin Durant's back to save the day. And, Rob, what do you expect, from him? They're playing Miami, so it could easily be
they're
an
favorites.
L.
They're favorites in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's favorite tonight over Miami?
Yeah, -1.5. So Durant has major impact when with the odds, Chris. You know what I mean? Because if he wasn't playing, it might be
an 8 back-to-back too.
And it might have been an 8 or 9 point deal, for Miami, -8 or 9. But anyway, I expect him to come back, and he was playing great before he got hurt. Remember, I was in Brooklyn in attendance watching the game with my buddy Carlos. We had great seats, and there was he got bumped or whatever. Somebody fell into him, and I looked, and he kind of took a step back, and he looked a little
that serious, right?
I didn't think anything of it. I thought, okay, it was close near the end of the first half, so he went to the back. I said, okay, that makes sense. Why put him out there? Let him relax, you know what I mean? And then you'll be ready for the second half.
Right.
I had no idea. It didn't look that serious to me, but anyway, it was. He missed 21 games. He's back. And, he's one of those guys that is a big factor. And he comes back with some other pieces to the team as well, not just Ben Simmons, Seth Curry.
Not Ben Simmons, yeah, Seth Curry.
Right, Andre Drummond, and I don't know, is Joe Harris back yet or not, Rob G?
No.
Do we know?
No.
Still not back.
And we don't know if he's going to be back.
He might not be back. He just missed about the entire season. But anyway, there's a couple other pieces that have joined since then. And with all these things being dropped, you just saw what happened in the NFL, and with the COVID numbers all, bottoming out. It's just a matter of time before all these other things are lifted, and that probably means Kyrie will be able to play. I don't know, Chris, is it the end of this month or at least the start of April and the playoffs? You know what I mean? So it's going to be a lot to put together, but I expect Kevin Durant to basically pick up where he's left off. He was playing great, was in the MVP conversation before his injury.
Yeah, Rob, he was averaging 29 points a game, which is one of his highest of his career. I think it's his third highest of his career. Yep. 7.4 rebounds, again, one of his highs. Not maybe top 5. And then 5.8 assists. So he's doing damage. That's second highest ever in his career. So he was having a great year. He obviously is a great player. But here's the really interesting thing, Rob. Bet MGM still has the Brooklyn Nets as the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. Now, the Nets have lost 15 of their last 18, and we get it. Obviously, Durant was out. But still, the 8th seed, they've got them favored to win the East. They would be number 1 in according to Bet MGM. Milwaukee is number 2. And then Philadelphia is number 3. And those are the top 3. What are your thoughts? Do you think that's the right? Like, I don't. I don't think the Nets should be favored. I mean, we have no idea what they're going to look like. Obviously Durant, we all assume he'll come back and play well. I'm sure he will. But Kyrie's still out. And when he comes back, he and Durant will have had virtually no time together. Ben Simmons, when he comes back, one, we don't know what he's going to look like as far as his game. And two, he won't have any chemistry with those guys on the floor either. So I think it's absurd for them to be ranked as the top, the favorite in the Eastern Conference at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it's based. They don't look at that stuff. They look at talent, and they look at guys who have been there, done that, and they just think. And I get the idea is like the best case scenario is that they just come out and they play and they're better than anybody else because of their talent. I get what you're saying is all logical, but that's not how they base it. They're not thinking about, oh, well, they haven't played it. They just say Kevin Durant's won a couple of championships. Kevin Durant was the MVP, was playing like an MVP. We're seeing what's happening in New York, so we don't want to make the odds where people are piling up money on Brooklyn, and then they lift the vaccination status, and Kyrie's playing, Ben Simmons is back, and then you look at it and go, what were we thinking to think that if these three guys were healthy and playing together that they wouldn't win with the other pieces? So I really think it's a safeguard more than anything than giving people better odds. You know what I mean, Chris?
Okay.
That's what I think it is, because it can't be based off of what they've actually
themselves.
done. Yeah,
because if they
right.
So if they
make them 20 to 1,
right,
20 to 1,
people bet on them, and all these people win. Yeah, that makes sense. Here's some news, Rob.
That's what I'm thinking.
According to Shams, you asked about him. You asked, we deliver. Nets say Joe Harris will undergo season-ending surgery on his
remember,
left
I was
ankle.
just asking because he hadn't played all year.
Yep. And it just
basically all year.
Number one, Rob, it just obviously what a year for the Nets. I mean, Kevin Durant's hurt. James Harden bolts. Kyrie can't play home games. Joe Harris misses the season.
Basically,
Ben
right.
Simmons, who you trade for, is still out. And now Brian Windhorst and some others have said it could be months. Maybe he might not be back for the rest of the month, Rob. I don't know if that's just, to protect him, to make it look like he's not, bailing on playing in Philadelphia so he won't come back like that week after that game. I don't think that's the whole thing, but he may not be. He may be out the rest of the month, which is unbelievable. But it just doesn't seem to be in the cards for the Nets. But what you said makes sense. Rob, I think, and I'm going to hold off. We'll make our predictions as we always do at the end of the season.
Yeah, there's no reason to do it now. Let's see what happens and see the teams going into the playoffs and where they are. I just think that's the best way to do it.
I tell you what, though, right now, I'm really liking Philly. And I get it. They haven't played anybody. They played the Knicks twice and Minnesota once. Minnesota's okay. Knicks, we know what they are. But they look really good, and it's not just Harden obviously looks terrific. 26-9-9 last night in his home debut. Embiid has just continued to play at the MVP level with Harden. But Tyrese Maxey, they've got like 2/3 scores. That's the thing I was saying about the Nets. After Kyrie, they don't really have a bona fide third scorer. Doesn't have to be a star, but just a big-time third guy. Patty Mills is obviously good.
He's had a great
Seth
year
Curry,
for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't call either of them third scores. Maybe Seth. But in Philly, they got Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris, who hadn't been off to the hottest start since Harden's been there. So they look good. We'll see if they can keep it up, but I'm liking them right now. Obviously, the Bucks have to be reckoned with. The thing about the Bucks, though, it's not easy to repeat. And we talked about that and even get back to the
those are
finals.
just facts. It ain't even about like feelings or saying like they can't do it. It's just that it is hard. And that's what we've seen.
And I think, and Rob, I don't know that anybody outside of Miami wants to see the Heat in the finals just because I wouldn't say dull, but they don't really capture people's imagination. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, but they're playing good ball. They're tough. They shoot the three well. They play good defense. They got a good coach. They're gonna be tough to be reckoned with. And now Boston, Rob. Boston is making some noise now. Tremendous defense since the new year. They've been the best defensive team in the league since the new year, and the offense is clicking too. So the East is going to be great. We said it yesterday with, I think, Eddie House. But I don't think the Nets should be the favorites. I think that's crazy.
We got to remember,
as you said, it might just
be this is a Vegas thing. It's just like the odds. Right. Remember I told you before, Vegas doesn't pick who's going to win. What they're trying to do is they want to put the team that can get the most money, Chris, to bet on both sides of it. They win if 50% bet for, say, the Nets and 50%, I'm talking about like, say, in the finals, 50% for the Nets and 50% for the Warriors. Vegas wins because they're not going to lose any money. What they don't want is 70% of the people to vote for the Nets, bet on the Nets, and 30% for the Warriors, because then if you lose, you take a bath. That's what the number is.